So yeah, needs all a second here. But yeah, for next time we know I will actually use a virtual machine to not have to do the restarts. You know, but it is a realistic experience, isn't it? Alrighty. Shit. That was not right. Yeah, YouTube is super annoying. Whenever you end stream, I have to whenever I end stream, I have to manually click on YouTube for yes, the stream has ended, for it to open up a new feed where I can start again the stream. And then also there is no permanently working docs inside OBS for me to see YouTube chat. So I have to every time manually grab the URL of the current stream chat to have it embedded in my OBS again. Yeah, it's very annoying, very annoying. Okay, well, good news though is Docker is successfully installed. All right, PHP Storm is back too. So yeah, the API platform suggests we install the API platform stuff, but I wonder. I just want to understand if it comes with Symfony out of the box. Let's see this. Oh shit, okay. I mean, that's kind of cool. Yeah, you make the stream card game, but I guess this is stream card game backend. All right, let's see what it looks like. We can still delete it if we don't like it. Oh, I also realized that BirdCam disappeared. Okay, so the compose, okay, there's a compose YAML for us to get our Docker container. Doesn't look though like it has, oh there. Oh, it is built on top of Symfony. Okay, so probably Symfony is already included. Okay, well now we can pull that, obviously. Let me copy this. Wait, I don't remember. Thread. Oh wait, I'm silly. I'm being silly. Here we are. Right, and yes, here is the folder projects, and in here is our stream card game, but now we wanna clone our backend. And there we go. Whatever. all right, there's our backend, and now we should be running the Docker compose build no cache. Now the question is if this works out of the box or if we have to enable this. It works out of the box, beautiful. So when we installed Docker Desktop, it does include Docker Compose, but I wasn't sure that it would be enabled in the Windows subsystem right away, whether I had to go into settings basically and do some things, but no, it works out of the box, very nice. Yeah, and now we can just sit back, you know. A lot of people don't know how much sitting back you do and just waiting for things to run. Quite nicely. But that's very important because it gives us the time to, you know, sip on our coffee. Also, it seems it's ad time. I'm very sorry. Once an hour. Let me move my cam to the middle again. There we go. I could probably I could probably adjust the fancy zones layout to leave a portion for the webcam. That would be pretty funny. Oh, it's done. All right, and then next, next we start the containers. But yeah, I'm by the way slightly disappointed that the Windows lockout did not allow me to keep the stream running, even if it would have just shown black, right? But what I thought was a possibility was of it that it keeps running but just shows like nothing, like, you know, that's. But yeah, it is what it is. But then again, okay, and now we should have. Be sure that the ports are not already in use. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So yeah, we should be now able to look at that. Amazing. So yeah, now we have here already our docs available, right? This is basically now it set up a test project, right, with these endpoints. Let me actually open. We're gonna open the backend project. So now we see here the backend project. We should find the source stuff inside API, and we do. And when we go into source entity, then we see here the greeting, right? And we can see here, like basically the way most of this works is via annotations. Meaning just via declaring these things. Well, these are actually for the database, right? But basically, like the database and API are configured via annotations as such. ORM though, yeah, and then here this is actually the one that says, oh, I'm an API resource, right? But these ORM things are for the database. This is saying, oh, this is the ID field, the unique identifier. Here's also like some assert not blank, you know, it can't be empty. But yeah, basically the beauty is that you'll be able to write these entities, and you'll just automatically, just by doing this, it will become an API endpoint, right? There is some more detailed stuff you can do. For example, like, hey, maybe I want this entity to be available via my API, but I don't want certain fields to be available. Then if I remember correctly, this is done via groups. Like you can define some different groups on the, and you know, and you can also like be like, hey, exclude this or include this. Like, I don't know, like we'll see, but like basically there is different ways. Okay, interestingly enough, it also comes with a Next.js application that I wasn't even aware of. Yeah, I think that wasn't the case the last time I did this. And then an admin as well, an admin area. I think this is just, yeah, this is where we can actually, I think, even try out. Wait. Create greeting. Ah, okay. So yeah, this is where we can create entities. Hi. Okay. So now, yeah, okay. So here we can actually even create entities. And now if we go here and we do a get on the greetings, right, we should get that created greeting back. So if we click here, try it out. And then execute, then you get a 200, and yes, here's our greeting that we created with the name hi, and it has the ID 1. So yeah, that is working quite nicely. I don't think we actually care for the Next.js application, because our plan is to just like use the API from our Angular app. We don't really care for, oh, interesting. Yeah, I forgot that I had that on here. But yeah, so basically we don't really care about this here. All right, yeah, this is how we can look at the logs. Yeah, but generally when working with Docker, like basically what this is saying here, like this is being executed in a container, but if you make changes here, it's automatically synced to your Docker volume. So basically the files inside the container. Yeah, it comes with a dummy entity for test purposes. If you're used to PHP ecosystem, you probably guessed that this test entity uses the industry leading doctrine or ORM. That is like here, these are all basically, yeah, doctrine is that layer that automatically handles the database for you based on these annotations. It also allows you to write migrations as scripts. But yeah, I don't want to actually go into too much detail here, because like, again, this can be maybe a little bit much, and my goal is actually just for us to like kind of like, you know, see how easily you can set this up. Okay, they're not really going into more here. Let's look at the Bookshop API. we should learn a little bit here about how it all works. Okay, we just did that, the installation. Oh, okay, it's ready. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, API, we know that. We get like okay. Your API platform project is now 100% functional. Let's expose our own data model. Our bookshop API will start simple. It will be composed of a book and a review one. Let's describe this data model as a set of plain old PHP objects. So yeah, it's creating a new entity here. Let's actually install a Symfony CLI, because we can actually generate entities and not have to write them manually. So let's see. Okay, good, I remembered. What could have been the password, chat? Very difficult to figure out. Alright, we're installing now Symfony CLI. CLI always means command line interface. That means it's a tool to basically use on the command line, which we are on right now. And now if we okay, like let me generate entity. I need to look at it. Like, I haven't used it in a while, so no, this is not it. Oh wait, it is the Oh, okay, maybe we did not need actually the Symfony CLI. So this is just using the Symfony available commands. I almost forgot about that. So when we look here, we can see here in API bin, there's a console like, so this probably does work. Let's try it. Oh, I might have to install PHP though. API bin console make entity. Let's try it. Yeah, we need to install PHP. So actually, let's check the composer JSON here, what it says, which PHP version. Okay, it says bigger or equal PHP 8.2. So that's what we want to install, which means we should be able to install the 8.3 as well. You're vertical and you feel something in your eye. Congrats, Prince, on being vertical. Alright, and now let's see if that worked. Nice, okay, PHP is installed and we can now try this again. Ah, okay. Like, this sounds like my PHP might not have a might be missing a feature we need. Okay, let's try. Let's just Google this. I think this is just a missing PHP feature. I think we have to edit the PHP ini. Okay, yeah. So, where did it install PHP 2? That is the question, I think. So we now need to find the place PHP is installed in on my subsystem for Linux. I think it's, wait, okay. Ubuntu PHP install location. Oh. Oh, maybe we need to install the CGI as well. That is actually a good point. I never installed PHP as the base version, so we're just gonna install this as well. Yeah, I was kind of like under the impression that I probably already have PHP, but I think I do not. Let's try again, but I still think we also need to enable the feature, but still we're gonna try again. Yeah, okay. But now that the PHP is installed, I think it's an etc. I don't know if any of you knows. I don't think Prince knows. Yeah, it is an etc. Damn, I did remember after all. Alright, and then PHP, and then here should be the version. Dollar. Have you ever worked on Linux, friend? On any Linux? All right. So, and here we have now the CGI and the CLI. Yeah, all the time. I guess you don't really use PHP, and that's why you didn't know then. Okay, there's the PHP ini. I don't know if I have nano. Let's try. I do. Incredible. So now this is the terminal editor. If you're a cool kid, you can also use Vim, but I'm not a cool kid, so I don't use Vim. I do know a little, like, but I know I only use Vim like once a year or so. So I forget the keybinds, or not keybinds, shortcuts all the time. We're now going down until we find the features, the extensions. Prince is learning that coding isn't actually all that much coding. When you're a programmer, you don't actually spend all that much time programming. Yeah. Understandable. Where the fuck? Since when is the PHP any this long? Has it always been this long? Prompt cut. I mean, oh, okay. So here's all the extensions there. We're getting close. I did know there's a lot of Google searching involved. True. Yes, true. Like I do think like basically like you spend more than half of the time Googling, reading, you know, set up stuff. The more advanced the stuff you do gets, the less you actually are on Stack Overflow, because you eventually end up having problems that are too nuanced, so you won't find an answer on Stack Overflow anymore. And the only way for you to find an answer is to basically do some actual like research, reading into articles about it and looking at the source code and understanding it yourself. But you will still end up, of course, for the small things on Stack Overflow. Do we finally... Okay, extensions, finally. So here... here we basically remove the semicolon on all the expansions we want to have active. Actually, none of the extensions are active. That is crazy. I just want to see if there's anything here. Okay. Oh yeah, for sure. That as well. That as well. The AI can answer you as well as Stack Overflow, but like it's not completely useless, right? Like it's like for the small things, right? Like, oh, I forgot what this command is, right? And then you end up on Stack Overflow, right? Like that kind of shit, right? But yes, it's not really like anymore for solving your problems. We probably do need curl. Actually, let's Google Symfony PHP extensions. Which do we need? Really? Oh, okay, here. Oh, install, and these PHP extensions are installed and enabled by default in most. Okay. Are they now? I mean, to be fair, I don't see the C type here, so it probably is. I don't see the icon V here. I'm just confused, like, do we really not need MySQLi? What database did OpenAPI create? I think we probably need MySQLi and MB string. I'm not using Oracle though. It could also be SQLite, so we're just gonna enable whatever, you know. Sure. Zip is also useful. All right, let's try this. Ah, shit. Oh no, I think I can't even. I think I have to close and do a sudo. Oh no. Ah, shit. Okay. God damn it. I don't even know which line it was. I could have, I think, does it show the line? No, it doesn't show the line. I really despise people on Stack Overflow. They are all like Redditors that actually have a good skill set in life. Oh, that's what you mean. No, I never... Okay, when I say I end up on Stack Overflow, it's not because I'm asking that question. It's because I Google and Stack Overflow comes up, right? I haven't asked a question on Stack Overflow in probably like 10 years. Right? Like I'm completely uninvolved. Completely uninvolved. Oh, here we go. It is weird to me that nothing is enabled. Wait, this one though. Yeah, okay. MB string. All right, now we changed the file. Now we need to restart the PHP service. Ubuntu. See, this is the moment where this is what I mean, right? I'm like Ubuntu restart PHP, right? And then this might be a Stack Overflow question, and that's, you know, that's the only way I I end up on Stack Overflow basically. Didn't I just click that like a bit ago? Right. Okay. Restart. I wonder if it... No. I think it should be like this. Oh, okay. Let's try again. Try instead the service. Yeah, we might have to install something for that wrapper. Restart. Failed to restart. Oh yeah. Sudo. Oh, not found. Okay. Maybe it's just at PHP FPM. Could not be found. Could not be found. Huh. Ubuntu PHP service. Let's just go through this. This is the whole Apache shit. The thing is, I don't need any of that because we have our Docker container and it's all running inside our Docker container, probably with an Nginx. Apache is basically the web server to interpret it, but we don't need that. We have Docker container. We just want to run some PHP commands on... Wait, maybe that's why we don't... Yeah, we don't have an FPM service. Yeah, actually... Yeah, wait, actually, maybe all of this doesn't matter. I just realized, because the FPM service is for the web server. So that's why we don't have a service. I think this is fine actually, but I think we will still get the same error, to be honest, but we'll see. But yeah, I think I need to take a step back, and I need to go like Symfony PHP CLI install. No, but I also don't need it, right? Like, that's the thing, what I'm saying. Like we were going down the wrong path, because the PHP FPM and everything is running inside the container, right? And I don't need a web server here locally. All I need is the PHP CLI to work, so that I can run the Symfony PHP command on the command line, right? I don't need a PHP server. Like, that is all already set up inside the container, probably with an Nginx, right? And PHP FPM. So I don't really care about that. Technically, I could actually use the container to run the PHP command, right? But it's just more convenient to just have it locally installed. So let's check here again what it says. Install PHP 8.2 or higher. Yeah, but wait, maybe? Okay, wait, so I did install that, right? I did. Interesting. I guess we could try this. But I mean, yeah, it's just same error. Like, this obviously, like, this part here assumes we're gonna install the whole web server, but I don't wanna install the whole web server. I just wanna run Symfony CLI. Yeah, it is. It's also running. Here, look. We have already opened it. Here. It's already running. This is our API, and we already tested it too. It is running. It's on localhost. If you want to see it, right here. We have our Extreme Card Game backend PHP 1, you know. Technically, I could go into use the container for it, but I want to be able to run the Symfony commands locally. But that's like what I'm saying. I only want the PHP CLE part. I do not need the server part, right? I don't need an Apache. I don't need an Nginx or anything, because that's already all inside the container, right? And the container is running, right? But yeah, it would be convenient basically to be able to just locally still use the PHP command line, which shouldn't be difficult. I've done this before, like where you just you just use your PHP executable and that's it, and you don't have a web server because you don't need one. So I'm a bit confused right now about the let's Google differently. Let's be like only use PHP CLI. Okay, no, this is not what we care about. Okay, let's Google for this again. The error is a bit of a red herring since it's actually part of the MB string. Yeah, the extension, which I've tried to enable. Oh, okay, I guess we can just try that, yeah. Maybe even though I enabled it in the ini, it's actually just not installed. Usually, like the way I know it, like from other installations, usually like these extensions, they are available and installed. You just need to enable them in the config. But let's try that. PHP 8.3, that's our version. Okay, unable to locate package. But again, it says here this is part of Apache. So do I still need the server package locally to run this command? It makes no sense to me because we're just generating an entity. No, I don't have FPM, Brand, and I don't want FPM. I don't think you're understanding my problem. I do not have like, okay, maybe I do because I installed the whole thing, but I do not want it. I like the service, the web server is inside the container, right? And it's running, and that's fine and good, right? I do not want a web server locally. I do not want a web server locally. That is the thing. And FPM is the implementation for a web server. It's the socket implementation. So, you know, even if I find it, I don't want it, right? It might have it because I did actually end up installing the CGI as well. No, actually, I should not have it. But, you know, it was my bad to check for the service because, yes, I don't have a service. I don't want a service. Right? And yeah, it's nothing. And that is correct. Right? This is correct. So basically, for you to understand, right, PHP is both a language that you can get the CLI, right, to execute scripts locally, but also PHP FPM is the socket implementation for when you run it on a web server. And a web server could be either an Apache or Nginx more commonly now. Apache used to be most used, but these days it's mostly Nginx that is used to run PHP on a web server, right? Our Docker container has an Nginx and has PHP FPM and has PHP and is running, you know, is running the application on a web server. You can see it here. This is our API platform here on localhost running, right? But I locally, outside of the container, wanna run some PHP commands on the command line for Symfony that just generate entities, basically, that have nothing to do with the web server, right? And for that, I want locally just the CLI part and not the web server part. And that is what's confusing to me. But us Googling, it also says here that MB string is part of a Apache package. Which makes this even more mysterious, because like what we're trying to do, the command here, right? Make entity is literally just a command to generate an entity file, right? Apparently this maker bundle is relying onto something that is used in the web server bundle, and worst of all, Apache, which we're not even using on our container. So use Symfony CLI locally with PHP CLI. Let's just see this. Symfony does make it look like you have to use the closed source CLI to run a local development server. They artificially made it hard to instead install Symfony with okay, this is an old, different topic. Oh, wait. No, this is a different problem. I mean, yes, no, I know what I'm missing. I know as I'm missing. We're missing the MB string extension, okay? We're missing the MB string extension. I know. The problem is the MB string extension seems to be part of the Apache package, but I don't want to run a web server locally because we don't need a web server locally because we have a web server inside the container to run our app. Right? Like, I know. So, but this shouldn't be, like, I know, like, basically when we look at the Symfony thing, they are just expecting you to have everything run locally, right? Like this web server and everything, right? But my problem shouldn't be too uncommon. There should be other people that are like, no, I don't want to run a web server. I just want to run my PHP CLI to use the Symfony commands. But maybe we will find out that the Symfony command line tool, right, that it unfortunately needs packages like from the web server, right, from the web server package. And you cannot run it without a web server, right? Which would be ridiculous though, because again, this bundle is just to write text files, right? It literally just writes you an entity file. And I'm very certain that I have done this before, like where I didn't have the full PHP shizzle with web server installed and still was able to use the maker bundle, right? That is, so I don't just want to solve it by installing the web server, right? I want to get to the bottom of it, and only if I definitively have decided, okay, unfortunately this is a limitation, only then I will do it, right? Like, so, so this is, I think, already no. Use locally. Okay, let's try this without web server. Yeah, that was a bot. Still no sexy viewers. How to use a server without using the built-in server. This is a different question. The cockatiels are fighting. Okay, yeah, this is... You actually don't need Apache. Okay, wait, I have another idea. Symfony... command needs MB string. Maybe we'll... Oh, Symfony polyfill. This component provides a partial native PHP for the MB string extension. This project backports features found in the latest PHP versions and provides compatibility layers for some extensions and functions. Okay, this sounds honestly good, but it sounds like it's already probably used. I do also think, what I think I am missing is honestly the usage. This is making your balls hurt. Oh. Let's Oh, I get it now. I think it's relying on the server package because it also alters the database. That's why. Yeah, then let's do this different. Symfony, Docker, use, come on, make it, like, there's probably... this is a path problem. Actually, we can just API platform. Oh my god, did we just have to go like slightly further? No, it still says this. Huh. Okay, here it's, let's see, let's go a little bit further. It will probably mention the command. Okay. Okay, API platform contains a PHP library core to create fully featured hypermedia. Yeah. It says nothing about the requirement. It literally says nothing here about... Okay, you know what? We'll just go into the container. Open a API platform. Docker. There's probably some quick copy paste here. I don't even know if it has bash. And yeah, it has Felix, hello! A beautiful day to you. Is the MB string extension enabled? It is, but it doesn't really matter. We did that earlier. That's when we were in the PHP ini. So we probably just have to run the commands inside the container because I refuse to install the web server. I refuse to install the web server here locally. It doesn't make any sense. But we read a little bit about it, right? So the make entity command, Brand, for you to understand, is a doctrine command, right? And the reason it needs stuff that is web server related. I initially thought, oh wait, but it's just writing the entity file, right? So why would it need that stuff? It's because it's also creating the database entity. So, but yeah, it's sweet that you're trying to help, Brand, but I can tell that you haven't been really able to follow along, which is fine, right? This is not to shit on you. But we did earlier go through the PHP ini and we did enable the MB string extension. But yeah. So now the plan is to basically go into the container, which is like, it's like docker exec minus it and then container name. Okay, it's... What the fuck is happening here? Hello? What the fuck happened here? Why did all of these turn into new lines? Okay, wait. Let's start a new window. What the fuck? Docker PS. Alright, and we wanna go into... I think this is the command card game backend PHP -1. Let's try bash. No such container. Oh, it's a stream card game. Stream card game backend. Oh. Haha! We're in. Is this too small? I guess the text inside the terminal is probably too small on stream, right? I can see if I can like up the font size a little bit for next time. But I'm not streaming that long today, so okay, so now we're on the container and we are inside the project. You're on 8K TV? Okay, it's your fault. Yeah, that is your fault. Okay, and now we do it on the container because the container does have the bin console make entity, and yeah, here it now works because the container has the you know, it has the PHP, it has the server, and we're gonna create a new entity which we're just gonna call cart. And then it's asking us, actually let me move my cam. It is, no matter where I am, often in the way. Let's just put, I don't know. We'll go back here, okay? So it's now asking us, do we want this entity to be exposed via our API? And we do want it to be exposed, so we'll say yes. And now it's creating basically for us the card PHP and the card repository PHP, and we can also now define some property names. So for example, we want a property called name, and we can also see here it's asking us for the field type for that property, and the default is string, which is correct. We want a string for the name. And also the field length, default 255, also fine. Can this field be null in the database? No. All right. Now we have the name field. Now we can add more fields, right? We can also say, hey, we want a description. And for the description, we probably want more sense. I actually do not know, is it text? Okay, that worked. Can this field be null? This field can be null. A card doesn't have to have a description, right? Now, since we're building something like kind of like inspired auto battler, right? We need like a cooldown. I haven't quite decided actually what the best format for this is. Is it like activations per second? I thought initially activations per second would be the easiest. Because if you like instead, like let's say you put in a cooldown in seconds. So if you say, oh, it's a, I guess both kind of works. Okay, let's just do cooldown. Cooldown, actually not in seconds, or it's base cooldown, because this could be, you know, base cooldown in ms milliseconds, I would say, right? Because like it doesn't have to be all flat, like it could be milliseconds too. And this is a number, no wait, an int, sorry, an integer, yes. It cannot be nullable, all right. And I think that's it for now. My bandwidth is shitting the clip. Oh, it is. It is indeed. That is weird. I could stop YouTube to alleviate the issue technically. But there isn't much I can do right now. But yeah, the upload is definitely worse right now than it usually is. But it's not zero. probably German internet. No, I actually, like, I have a really good connection, like, generally. Like, it's very rare that we have issues. I have 1 gigabit down, and I don't actually even know how much up, but enough, basically. But I also do not use, I use, like, basically what we have here, because we had this shitty infrastructure, right? I use TV cable, because the TV cable is actually glass fiber, right? While a lot of the normal infrastructure is still copper in the cities, especially in the cities. It's really shitty because in the smaller villages and stuff, they have actually glass fiber because it's newly built. But yeah, anyways. So generally my connection is very stable. With the TV cable, however, when there is issues, which happens like on average like twice, maybe 3 times a year, right? It takes a long time for it to be fixed. Like, it takes literally hours, right? While when I was on, like, you know, a normal infrastructure, like, I would have issues very often, but they would be gone very quickly too. Right? That's kind of like how it is between the two. But yeah, I don't actually know right now. Like, it's really weird. It's just lower upload than usual. That's it. But it's not completely dying. Anyways, now we've created our entity. I'm just gonna continue for now, and we hope it, you know. And we can now see here is our new entity. But how bad is it? Like, do you just see buffering or perma buffering? Like, or is the quality worse? Like, what's happening? Like, I only see that the upload rate is lower than it should be. But yeah, here we see now our card entity that we created, right? And it's created for us an ID. Here is the name field, the description field, base cooldown in milliseconds, you know. Oh, did I actually? I guess I said this can be nullable. Oh, I see. Okay, so it's not going into buffering. You're still getting at least full audio, just the video is freezing up. Okay. Could be worse, right? Could be worse. At least it's not buffering. That would be the worst. I don't know. This one is nullable, true. Yeah, and it also does for us, you know, we don't have to do anything here. It's created all the getters for us and all the setters for us. And this is what you call fluent setters. This setter returns the entity itself. What that means is, for PHP, right, if you have now here a card, right, our card, and you do set name, right, set name blah, right, then because it's fluent and it's, or fluid, sorry, not fluent, it's fluid, it's a fluid setter, and it returns itself, you can keep going because the object is returned. Not like, it's different from project to project if people doing this. I personally like it a lot, right? Because you can basically keep going because set name just returns the instance back again. And we can, right after this, set something else or do something with it, right? Just wanted to point that out because, you know, this is a setting thing. But yeah, I personally like it, and I think it is the preferred style in Symfony applications. You can also see this is red because it is a new file that is not part of the Git repository. So I'm gonna add it to the Git repository, and we're gonna commit it. In PHP's term, that's Control K, and we're gonna say add card entity. Now I do think actually we have to also, for this entity to be added to the Yes, it actually says this here. So it says, when you're ready, create a migration with PHP bin console make migration. So we're actually not committing yet. I'm using my camera back down here. Right, we're gonna do this now. The migration is basically, it creates the code to add the entity to the database. So we're running this. And now when we go here into, God, where are they again? Migrations, there. We see here a new migration, which automatically contains the code to adapt the database, right? It says here, create a table card, and with all the fields that we defined. And then also every migration comes with an up and a down. The down is basically to roll, how to roll back that migration. Yeah, I know, I am losing frames, Brent, I know. But my point was just, are you getting buffering, right? I mean, there's nothing really I can do about it. We're losing frames, it is what it is, right? But like, at least we're not buffering, right? At least we're not buffering. I do have a recording of this. And I was thinking of anyways releasing like cut downs versions of what we've been doing, right? And I will just use the recording. Right, but yeah, so now that we have the migration, it also says here, review the new migration, then run it with migrations migrate, right? So this is what we're gonna do to adapt our database. And then it says, hey, warning, you're gonna do a migration to the database that could result in changes, right? And we're saying yes. And it says successfully migrated, bam, right? And now we're gonna add the migration to the repository as well. And now we commit with add card entity. And yeah, whenever you make a new entity, it should come with a database migration, so that when anybody else uses the, uses the project, they can execute that migration themselves as well and have an up-to-date database, right? All right, so we're gonna commit this. Always ignore the warnings, just go. And now we pushed, and now we can see here, no, it wasn't here. This was our backend repository, right? When we now check here in API and in source and an entity, there's our card PHP, which we just pushed. All right. Now, unfortunately, we're already getting close to the time I have to go. This was today is truly just a very short stream, and the upload seems to be dying more and more. I'm actually gonna cut off YouTube now immediately. There is nobody